It is our responsibility to rise up and push out the English to repossess the land.
You know what PK stands for?
It stands for Peter Philip Kenneth Keith. That's my name.
It's on the Piscop. Let's go. Piscop.
The boy who fought hate with his fists. The untold rise of South Africa's reluctant boxing hero. If you think boxing is just about throwing punches, you clearly haven't met Peter Keith, or PK as the world would later know him. This is the story of how one British farm boy in South Africa took a childhood full of loss, humiliation, and racial tension and turned it into a fight for justice that went way beyond the ring. And yes, it involves a chicken bodyguard, a ritual with an elephant, and a lot of people who underestimated the wrong kid. A birth marked by loss. PK's life began like the opening scene of a tragic novel. He was born in 1940 on a modest English farm in South Africa. Weeks before his birth, tragedy struck. His father was killed in an accident involving an elephant. Yes, you read that right, an elephant. You can't make this stuff up. His mother, shattered by grief, decided to name the baby after his late father. But instead of calling him Peter Keith Jr. every time, she shortened it to PK, two small letters carrying a lifetime of meaning. While his mother taught him English and the manners of a proper British gentleman, his African nanny gave him stories, wisdom, and warmth. He also had a best friend, Tonderai, the nanny's son. Together, the boys lived a simple, happy childhood. That happiness didn't last. Plague, despair, and the school of hate. A livestock plague, the roba, swept through the farm, wiping out their animals. Without his father to keep the farm running, his mother's health declined rapidly. Eventually, she couldn't care for him, so she sent him to the only school she could afford, a boarding school run by Afrikaners. From the moment PK arrived, it was clear he didn't belong. The first history lesson was basically a hate rally in disguise. The teacher painted the British as ruthless enemies who tortured Afrikaners in concentration camps. Being the only British kid in the room, PK could practically feel the hostility radiating toward him. Then came Gypsy, an older student with a face permanently stuck in bully mode, who spat on the ground in front of him. That was day one. It got worse. They cornered him in the bathroom one night, taunted him with slurs, and even urinated on him. PK became so anxious he started wetting the bed, which of course made him even bigger target. Then came the blow that broke his little world. News arrived that his mother had died. Facing the elephant. Back home for the funeral, his nanny saw the fear and shame in his eyes. She called in a local healer, Dabula Manzi, who took PK through a symbolic ritual, facing down an elephant that represented his fears. Unlike his father, PK didn't run. He stood his ground. The elephant stopped, touched him gently with its trunk, and in that moment, PK realized he had beaten fear itself. When he returned to school, Dabula Manzi gave him a parting gift, a chicken. Sounds silly, but this was no ordinary chicken. It slept near PK's bed and squawked loudly anytime bullies approached, giving him an early warning system. World War II, Hitler fans, and a murdered chicken. As World War II raged, Afrikaner students grew even more anti-British, idolizing Hitler. The bullying intensified. One day, the worst of them, Brighton, decided to make an example of PK. First, he killed PK's beloved chicken in front of him. That was it. Fear turned into fury. PK shoved a bully into a flagpole, injuring him. Brighton wanted him dead and tried to have him hanged, but a teacher intervened just in time. Brighton was expelled, but the scars on PK's spirit stayed. The German mentor. PK was sent to live with his grandfather, who promptly pawned the parenting job off to Doc, a kind, eccentric German pianist. Doc taught PK music, philosophy, and the beauty of the African wilderness. Life felt almost normal again, until the British arrested Doc for being German. In prison, Doc introduced PK to Gil Pete, a black prisoner with the soul of a coach and the discipline of a soldier. Pete taught him the art of boxing with one golden rule: head first, then heart. The two formed a powerful bond, but the prison's brutal Sergeant Borman targeted Pete constantly. When Pete was eventually beaten to death after exposing Borman's cruelty, PK was shattered, but also more determined than ever to fight, becoming the fighter. By his teens, PK was a rising boxing star, earning respect from both black and white fighters, rare in apartheid South Africa. His reputation exploded when he fought Duma, a legendary black fighter from Alexandria. The fight was brutal. Duma knocked him down twice, but memories of the elephant ritual and Pete's words gave PK the will to rise. He unleashed his 8-punch combo and won. But Duma wasn't bitter. He shook PK's hand and called him the Fighter for Life, a title that stuck. Love, politics, and trouble. Somewhere between punches, PK met Maria, the daughter of a powerful Afrikaner politician. Her father hated the idea of his daughter with an English liberal, but Maria had a rebellious streak. As their romance bloomed, PK also began teaching English to black children in Alexandria, knowing full well that it was dangerous. Colonel Botha, an apartheid enforcer, ordered him to stop. Botha's sidekick? None other than Brighton, the old schoolyard bully, now in uniform. The pressure mounted, but PK kept training kids and boxing at Hoppy's mixed-race gym. Brighton responded by burning the gym to the ground and arresting Hoppy. Before being taken away, Hoppy told PK, "Never stop fighting." Maria's death. Then, tragedy struck again. During a raid on the church where PK was teaching, a blow meant for him killed Maria. Her death crushed him. For a while, he lost all will to keep fighting. But seeing the children in Alexandria speaking the English he had taught them reignited his purpose. He realized the fight wasn't just his anymore. It belonged to everyone oppressed under apartheid. The final showdown. In the chaos of a violent crackdown, Duma was shot, and Brighton came for PK, determined to finish what he started years ago. They fought brutally, bare hands against decades of hatred. Just as Brighton reached for a gun, Duma appeared, swung a cricket bat, and ended it for good. Botha fell too, stabbed by Duma in the uprising. The two men, battered but alive, promised to keep fighting apartheid until it was nothing but a bad memory. The moral. PK's life proves that fear can be beaten, enemies can become brothers, and even in the darkest places, resistance can grow. Sometimes it's not the knockout punch in the ring that changes history, it's the refusal to back down outside of it. If you loved this story, smash that like button, hit subscribe, and share it with someone who needs a reminder that courage isn't the absence of fear, it's standing up, even when the whole world tells you to sit down.